Let us try to understand what is the functions in Python. So functions are some predefined things, or we can say only defined things. We can do some definite tasks here. So there are two types of functions in Python. One is called predefined function, one is called user defined function. So predefined function that is already available inside the Python, and we are not bothered about what is written inside that function or not. We are just using the function to get some value. So let us just take an example to understand that what is a predefined function and how it is written. So let me take x equals to, for example, let me take x equals to, this is a test code, let me write like this. Okay, so what are the predefined function? For example, I want to know what is the type of the x variable. So how I have written the function, I have written type which came in, you can see again I'll write. So if I write type, till now the color is black, if I write e, it becomes green. So what is happening here, type is a predefined function inside the Python. So if I write that x inside the bracket, if I write the x, then if I run, it is returning the value of str, that is string. So this type is a inbuilt function in the Python which can tell me that what is the type of the variable I am using. So next, one more type we can see, if I write print x, okay, so print is also written in green, you can see. So print x if I write, so that will tell me that how to print the number. So if I run this, so it is printing the value of the x variable that I have stored here as a string, fine. This is a test code that is printing. So print is also a inbuilt variable here. Similarly, there are some other inbuilt variable, so like len, length. So length, if I write x, so what is the length of x if I want to print? It's writing 17. So what is this 17? So the total number of character in this particular string that I have written is equals to 17, including the space also there. Fine. So there are some other types of function, predefined functions are there, which is very difficult to list all and everything, but these are some kind of functions we can use. So let me tell you some other functions also. For example, let me take a number that is equals to 56, fine. Now here if I use the type function, so if I want to know what is the type of number, if I call, it is telling me integer. So there are other types of predefined functions at that. Let me write some result equals to, if I write here float in bracket, if I write num, so what is doing, and then I'll print the result here. So it is printing the value as 56.0. So what number I have taken, 56, but it is printing 56.0. That is because I am converting that number to a float using this particular predefined function. Okay, so that means float is a predefined function inside the Python which is able to convert one number or one integer format to the another floating format. So here instead of float you can also use complex there. So complex number if I make, so just it is making the number as complex, that means complex is a inbuilt function. So you can use another conversion also using some inbuilt function. So let me write binary. Okay, so just write result again. So result 2 if I write, so that is equals to, if I write bool, okay, boolean, and in bracket if I pass the number, and then if I want to print the result here, result 2 I am printing. So if I print, the number is coming as true. True means what? So the number has a value, that is 56 here I have entered, and if any number is assigned to the variable, then it will, the boolean function will return me a value that is true. Fine. So here also I am converting the number to a boolean variable, so that is becoming true in the boolean variable. So these are some of the inbuilt functions that can be used here. Okay, and there are some other functions also which are imported from some specific libraries. So if I take a example here, let me import a library that is called as your import random. Fine. So in import random, what I can do, I can generate a random number from this basic random library. So if I write, let's say x equals to random dot rand int is the function, and in the function what I can pass, I can pass some value here, let's say 100. Okay, So what it will going to do if I run the code x again. So if I print, so it's showing some error. Missing one is positional argument. Okay, so it needs a range actually. Still wrong. So have I used x? Okay, so this x is used there. Let me take some another variable here. Okay, the problem is the spelling mistake here. It should be random dot rand integer, and here write 100. Now if I run the code, and here if I want to print the value, so see the value is coming as 95. If I run it, how much time? Every time a new number is generated. Fine. So this function is basically used to generate a random number. So in some problems or some problem solving methods, generating a random number is also required. So here I am using a rand int function, and I am passing a value 1 comma 100. That means it is going to create a random number between 1 to 100. So if I pass here, let's say 90. So every time I run this, it will generate a random number between 90 to 100. It will not generate a random number beyond that. So basically it is a inbuilt function of the Python that can generate some random number for me. So this is what, this is a function that is predefined inside Python. So these are called functions, and in the next video we will see that if you want to define a particular function, then how to do that. We call that a user defined function. So that we will see in the next video.